for those who choose to break their rules.
The honourable member for Calgary Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mark Kielburger of We Charity reported that the Prime Minister's office called in April to offer his organization the contract to administer the Canada Student Service Grant. Subsequently, Mr. Kielburger stated that he misspoke and that the call was with the senior official at Employment Canada. Can the Prime Minister confirm which official contacted Mr. Kielburger and why he didn't recuse himself from involvement in a $19.5 million payment to his friend?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, as I have stated, the nonpartisan public service made a clear recommendation that this was the only organization that would be able to provide the service in the timeline needed, and we accepted their recommendation. I will just state once again that yesterday the Parliamentary Finance Committee passed a motion supported by all parties requesting these answers. That information will be provided and people will get these answers. And when it comes to the Ethics Commissioner, we always work closely with independent officers of Parliament and we'll make sure they receive their information.
Honourable member for Calgary Centre.
2 weeks ago, the Prime Minister said that We Charity is the only organization in all of Canada that could administer the grant. Can the Prime Minister tell us which official misspoke to him on this matter that he so badly misrepresented to Canadians?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chair, once again, the nonpartisan public service made a clear recommendation that this was the only organization able to provide this service in the timeline needed. We work with the public service to deliver programs for Canadians. They made a recommendation. We accepted their recommendation. And now,
the Honourable member for Calgary Centre.
PSAC National President Chris Aylward said Mr. Trudeau's claim that We Charity is the only one that can administer the new grant program is not only factually wrong, it's also insulting to our members. Shameful. But you look at Charity Intelligence, which rates charities across Canada. Charity Intelligence says that We Charity's financial findings are not current, and this contract alone is at least 4 times higher than their net administrative expenses over the last number of years.
Wow, shameful.
It's also offside with its banking obligations. Can the Prime Minister indicate to this committee today how he could possibly have been so badly misled by his officials to grant this lucrative contract to his friend?
Wow.
Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I've stated, the nonpartisan public service made a clear recommendation that this was the only organization able to provide the service in the timeline needed. Obviously, the way this unfolded was not intended, and that's why the charity is no longer administering the project. We will work with the Ethics Commissioner. We are also going to work to satisfy the motion that members of all parties passed at the Finance Committee yesterday to ensure that this information is received. Our focus is working for Canadians, ensuring that they have the services and supports they need during this unprecedented and challenging time. That will remain our focus, is to ensure that we work together to support Canadians right now, and we will continue to strive to do better to ensure that those supports are in place. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And that's all the